past couple of days here in Moldova. I've got a couple more hours before I leave the country, and we've got a really unique way of leaving the country coming up on a future video. But before then, I wanted to see whether Chisinau is really worth visiting. Should you come to Chisinau, is it worth going out of your way to come here as opposed to somewhere like Gdansk or Warsaw or Riga or all of the others? So yeah, let's go and explore Chisinau. So behind me is the courtyard to the Airbnb. Drying the towels outside in the courtyard. This is very Soviet, but you've got to use different key fobs to get in and out of various gates, and I can't remember the colour of them. Wrong one. Let's go and explore. So welcome to Chisinau, the capital of Moldova. Behind me, you might just be able to see over here somewhere, there's the Triumphal Arch. This is the centre of the city of Chisinau, built by the Russian Tsar to commemorate victory over the Ottomans in the 1800s, when Moldova, whatever you want to call it, became part of the Russian Empire for the first time. Behind me is the Parliament of Moldova in a brutalist Soviet-style building. So this should give you a bit of an orientation of where we are. Let's go and do a bit of a circular around Chisinau. There isn't that much to see here. There aren't big attractions like in bigger cities, but we'll do a bit of a circuit of the centre of Chisinau before we head to the train station for the train out of Moldova, which will be a video in its own right because it's a unique Soviet train unlike anything else in the world, but make sure you're tuned for that one. Behind me is some wooden cabin things. Are they starting Christmas here early in the middle of July? Who knows, but let's cross this busy road and go and explore the Triumphal Arch. So I need to find a crossing somewhere here. There don't seem to be many road crossings in Chisinau. That's something I've noticed over the past 3 days that I've been here. Well, let's try and cross this busy road. This is the main road through Chisinau. And this is where you'll find all of the government ministries, the main church that we will explore when we cross the road. So this is a monument to Stephen the Great, who ruled Moldova between 1457 and 1504, I think. He is on all of the banknotes here in Moldova, and his face appears everywhere. So he's obviously somebody special. I haven't done much research on him, but yeah, apparently he stopped Casimir of Poland from occupying Moldova. That's pretty much all I know. But he is everywhere, you'll see him everywhere. So let's try and walk under the Triumphal Arch, and then we'll turn left to go to the Metropolitan Cathedral of the Christ Nativity, the main Moldovan Orthodox cathedral here in Chisinau. So the cathedral was built originally in the 1830s, but was damaged extensively during the Second World War by Soviet and German bombing, and was rebuilt in a somewhat Soviet inspired design. It's very obscure from the outside, very basic. Reminds me of the Parliament building and the main church in Helsinki. So it's always difficult to film in a church. But I hope you got an insight into what it looks like inside. So let's continue the circuit around central Chisinau. Let me check my maps. So we need to now go to the right, no, to the left. Once we get out of here. And the next place we'll be heading towards is a place called Red Mill Building, an old abandoned mill apparently. It's about a 10-minute walk. Right, let's go and see if we can finish off this circuit of central Chisinau. So according to Google Maps, the presidential palace should be somewhere on the left here. So this on the left seems to be some kind of church building, Isis Salvatoral. I mean, there's one thing that Moldova does have going for it. There's no shortage of dentists. I've seen at least 2 dental surgeries on every street since I've been here for 3 days. They're everywhere. Right, so on the left is the presidential palace. Definitely stands out against all the brutalist Soviet architecture. And now I need to walk away quickly because a security guard has just waved his hand at me. So yeah, but that's the presidential palace. It's a big building for one person. I'm assuming they do all of the government stuff there as well, and they've got a couple of ministries in it. But we now need to go back onto the main street. is the Palace of the Republic of Moldova. I don't actually know what it is. I'm assuming it's some kind of government building. But again, it seems relatively new. It's designed in the same style as the presidential palace. So there's apparently a waterfall staircase somewhere down this steep hill with a really slippery pavement. An update on the weather. It's currently 2 p.m. It is 37 Celsius and the sun is bright and my head is on fire with sunburn. Is this somebody's private garden? This doesn't feel like a public park to me. Is this somebody's private driveway? I'm not sure I'm in the right place here. There are no other people around here, and I seem to have walked into the middle of some kind of forested area. And then there's a construction site at the end. I was not expecting this in the centre of Chisinau. Big open lake area. So this must be the staircase. Oh yeah, I can see the waterfall coming down. A slow trickle of water. Let's go to the top of this staircase, take a photo, then we need to come back down, keep following the lake around to the next place in this circuit of central Chisinau. So just around the corner from the train station is the old National Hotel building remnants. So that was the first hotel in Chisinau, built again by the Soviets. That was the Communist Party's hotel for visiting dignitaries, so they could spy on them. And then in the building that you can see in front of us, the Chisinau Hotel, apparently the rooms have been designed in a traditional Soviet style. And I was speaking to somebody I met on a tour yesterday who said it takes 15 minutes for the water in the shower to heat up. So it's definitely authentic Soviet. So this is the History Museum of Chisinau. There's random tanks lying around, a couple of MiG fighter jets that you can just about see here. Well, the pavements here aren't very good. The holes in them and they're all bumpy. So I'm heading to a building that, well, it's been forgotten, but it's one of the most written about on TripAdvisor sites to see here in Chisinau. It's about a 30-minute walk from the central bus station, so I'm going to head there now. The rain started and I think there's a storm coming, so I'm going to try and get there as quickly as I can. So this is essentially the centre of Chisinau. Old Soviet tower blocks that have seen better days. I think it's safe to say that Chisinau has not had a lot of investment going into it recently. There are bits of pavement missing. A lot of the buildings haven't really been maintained since they were built in the Soviet times in the 70s. The roads are full of potholes and there are lots of beggars and stray dogs everywhere. I don't know what I was expecting. I probably was expecting this, but when you come here and see it for yourself,
it kind of hits home and just how run down this place could be considered. So something tells me that that's not a real Best Buy, but they've got a Best Buy, they've got apparently an iPhone store here that is guaranteed approved by Apple, so you can buy your electronics and get your iPhone fixed in the authentic stores here in Chisinau. So I think I left the 20th century behind and walked back into the 18th century here. I am well and truly lost on my way to this famous abandoned circus building. The fun fact is apparently listed on the Moldovan Stock Exchange, but it's an abandoned building. People own shares in it. A lot of these buildings are like shanty shacks. But no fear, I found a Jehovah's Witnesses building. You can always guarantee to find the Jehovah's somewhere. But that's not what I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find the Soviet circus building. So this seems to be the slightly more upmarket part of Chisinau. A lot of government ministries seem to be around here. But if you ask me where it is on a map, I have no idea. A lot of the streets just circle back on themselves, so you can never quite tell where you're going or where you are. And Google Maps is intermittent. That might be because of the eSIM I'm using, but yeah, I think this is one of those cities where you just walk around and see where you end up. Don't go with any particular destination in mind, just keep walking. So you can just about see the top of the State Circus building in the distance, but to get to it we have to cross a motorway. So Google Maps is telling me that it's a 58-minute walk from here to get across the road, because it's trying to direct me all the way around Chisinau. It's raining quite heavily and there are midges everywhere. Surely there's a crossing here. It's really hot. It's now 36 Celsius. That's crazy in this part of the world. So I found a passageway underneath the motorway. It looks like it comes out right next to the circus building. It's just really dodgy. And there we go. This is the abandoned circus building. And when they say abandoned, they're not joking, are they? These are these floors are. I don't think we can get in. I know you're definitely not allowed in, but it would be good to have a bit of a sneak peek inside, just to see what this is like and what I've come all of this way to see. I've been walking for about an hour and a half. There's flies everywhere. So they've got metal all around the entrances. I don't think there's any other way to get in. There's also a big football. I think the stadium, the national stadium, might be behind those trees. Or maybe it's round the corner here. So this is still part of the circus. I'd say it looks more like a prison. But this circus building was built during the Soviet times, when the famous Soviet circuses were held here, and ballet performances for the elites in this part of the Soviet Union. But now it's abandoned. So what better place to end this video on this tour of Moldova's capital Chisinau than the iconic circus building. And I'm going to have to walk because there's a guy smoking crack walking right behind me, and he doesn't look happy. But anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Would you come to Chisinau? Would I come back again? Probably not. It's one of those once in a lifetime cities. But I'm glad I came. It's interesting. The guy with the crack is getting closer. It does have its problems. It's not like a lot of European cities that have been modernised and they don't seem like they used to be. This is very authentic, very Soviet. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for a couple more from Moldova, and keep travelling, and I will see you next time. Thank you.